did make a few different changes. He tried to work a few things. You know, he was flicking the kicks out, trying to work cut off a bit better. He was doing some different things, shooting as well. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? He's still got a pretty well-rounded game when it comes to knowing everything, all aspects. But he's going to get better at putting it all together, and then he won't have to rely on just that chin sooner or later. But it's always going to be dangerous when you're that type of guy. It's just unfortunate that he had to fight me for the 2 title fights. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, I know how to work the octagon, footwork. I can do all these things and take advantage of that with him. A lot of the other guys won't be able to do that for 25 minutes. They won't be able to make the adjustments that I can. So it's unfortunate, because if he had to 10 rounds with anyone else, they ain't doing what I did for them 10 rounds. So he's just, you know, it's unfortunate, in a sense. You know, he'll be back. You know, he's still young enough. He'll be back. Obviously, we won't be able to turn around too quick, but he keep doing his thing.
Response from Silva. He's basically said that he's going to do a camp with Ilia Topuria to break you. So I just wanted your response to that.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Aqui, ó, o bagulho é o seguinte. Tô ligado que o Volkanovski tá pedindo aí Evoleve, não sei o que. Tá pedindo os caras pra ele não se machucar, tá ligado? Irmão, sinto muito de informar. Se você quiser ficar de boa, sem se machucar, eu te entendo. Mas se você quiser lutar com um cara que não bate forte, não sou eu, pai. E vou te falar mais. Eu vou lá fazer o quê? Porque eu tô pura pra te quebrar.
Ele foi muito suave, mano.
Já vou te avisando, hein?
Os chutes do são muito fortes.
Já vou te avisando. Eu vou lá pra... Ô, cadê meu empresário? Ô, pede um help lá pro Topuria, que eu vou lá fazer o quê pro Topuria pra quebrar o Volkanovski.
I don't know. I think he's a bit upset about the roofie thing, but I mean, like, you know, I don't think there was anything more than the fact that, like, you got Roofie, who's a part of Engage Industries at the moment, AP management, and like we connected sort of through that. Did a bit of training there, and you know, he's obviously a very good guy, incredible guy, one of the nicest guys you ever meet. And obviously just wanted to work on these things. So I was always going to work with him. I know Rafa, so it was tough because I know Rafa as well. But at the same time, I was always going to work with Roofie. And I think John Silva took that to heart. Supposedly, I don't know if it's real that they're not following each other. Like, he doesn't follow Roofie anymore. I don't know. It shouldn't be like that. It's nothing like that. It's not like we're, you know, I don't know why he's getting so butthurt about that. But
out of the guys you mentioned, Arman's the one without an opponent. Would you be happy to fight him for that #1 spot, or do you want to just go straight past him and get into title contention?
I'm fully focused on anybody inside the top 5, but the undisputed belt and the BMF belt are what are my first interest. My first point of interest is to fight the winner of Charles or Holloway, or the winner of Justin versus Ilya. But if it has to happen, I will fight Arman, of course, and I will take a spot.
And I was going through it. I went through a breakup. I lost this fight with Anderson Silva. Tested positive for weed. They suspended me for 5 years. I was going through a breakup, and I didn't really give a fuck about being around those type of drugs. You know, I wasn't partaking in those type of drugs, but I was around it. And
well, you didn't get in trouble for any other drug. I mean, you got in trouble for the weed, and we talked a little bit about that before. But almost like you were.
I did though. I did get in trouble for those type of drugs, because I mean, like, you know what I mean. It was like the people that were all of a sudden around were they were, you know, either selling drugs or bringing drugs around, and then next thing you know, people were cruising by my house with guns and shit. You know what I mean? People were pulling guns out again, and I'm like, this is up. I got to leave town. I'm like, this is like when I was a kid and my friend got shot. I'm like, I got to get out of here. And so I got the out of there. And that was the thing. It was like, if there was going to be a big fight at a party, I was going to be involved. You know, and it was probably me or one of my friends. And so I was just waiting for it to go down. I mean, as soon as we go down, boom, boom, you know, it was like at someone's house or some backyard or some, you know, some like bonfire party or something like that. And that shit was all just crazy. And then until my friend got shot, and once my friend got shot, I was like, it's not like I just stopped going to parties, but we stopped going to parties. It wasn't even like, I was too busy to be at those parties anyways, but I was. And then one of my best friends got shot. And yeah, that guy, I can't help but talk about him. You know, he got shot, and then he was in the hospital. He got shot 4 times in the chest with a .44. I don't know how you lived through that. The doctor was like, yeah, I would have died. I don't know how you survived. And then, yeah, and then so they started putting him on all these drugs and stuff like that.
Is he still alive?
Sooner or later, yeah, he's still alive. And then he ended up on, you know, doing like some heroin and shit like that. And then he was. And so I went back and hung out with this guy. I was like, damn, I didn't know what it was like. I thought you were gonna be normal like before. I didn't even know that what being up was all about. I didn't understand it, you know. And I told myself I was never gonna get like that, and I never got like that. And luckily, I didn't have anything to do with those type of drugs. But just being around those type of drugs really caused me a big problem. You know what I mean? Like, caused me a big problem.
The internet is buzzing after the latest batch of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents was made public, a massive release that reportedly includes thousands of pages of emails, contact lists, and references tied to Epstein's network. These files, released through court proceedings and reviewed by federal authorities, have already sparked headlines because they mention the names of high-profile figures like Bill Gates and Donald Trump. But one name that truly surprised the MMA world was that of Jon Jones. In one of the surfaced emails from 2010, Epstein appears to be discussing the purchase of a UFC event, specifically Jon Jones versus Brandon Vera, which headlined UFC Live 1. The message references ordering the fight online so it could be played on a computer, suggesting it was simply about buying access to a UFC broadcast, similar to how fans purchase pay-per-views. After the post began circulating on social media, Jones responded with a facepalm emoji, signaling his reaction to being mentioned in the viral discussion.
Oh man, I'm so disappointed.